Today I want to introduce you OnApp Backup Plugin system in general and Veeam plugin particularly. By the end of this presentation, you will know what is OnApp Backup Plugin system and how to configure OnApp with Veeam backup and replication. The backup plugin system enables you to integrate OnApp with a third-party backup services. The plugin allows to backup and restore your virtual servers by means of a service that you use for backup management. One of the supported plugins that can be installed to your control panel server is Veeam. It allows you to create backups with Veeam for vCloud Director and vCenter virtual servers. In order to configure OnApp and Veeam, you should configure inside Veeam backup and replication, configure inside OnApp, use for vCloud Director or vCenter virtual servers. On Veeam backup and replication side, you need to do the following: add vCloud Director server to Veeam backup and replication, add backup repository, add backup job based on vSphere, which will be used as template. Let's jump to the demo to see how to configure this inside Veeam. On the Veeam backup and replication side, we need to go to the backup infrastructure menu and add vCloud Director server. Pressing add server, we need to enter name or IP address. If using the name, we just need to make sure it's resolving properly. Press next. Enter credentials and the password. Okay, press next. The system is trying to connect to the vCloud Director and grab vCenters from inside. Press apply. And now we just need to wait for system to check vCenter credential and do the proper configuration inside the vCloud Director and vCenters. It's usually taking some time. Pressing next and finish. Now we need to go and add a backup repository. For this demo, we will use the default one, which is already added. Now we need to add the backup job based on vSphere, which we will use as template in OnApp. We need to put the name. We will need to remember this name as we will need to put it inside the OnApp. Add the virtual server. Any virtual server as this template will be used just for cloning. Press next and just go to the end of the wizard. Now we are ready on the Veeam site and can move to the OnApp configuration. We need to do the following inside OnApp control panel in order to complete the configuration. Create backup resource zone. Create backup resource based on the Veeam plugin and add it to the newly created zone. Set advanced option for resource. Set auto backup presets. Associate backup resource zone with the compute zone. Add backup resource zone to proper bucket. Let's jump to the demo to see how to do it inside the OnApp control panel. Firstly, we need to create new backup resource zone. Going to settings, backup resource zone menu, press new, enter the label, and press create. Now let's create backup resource based on the Veeam plugin and add it to the zone we have just created. Going to settings, backup resources, press new backup resource. We need to fill in the label. After, we need to choose backup resource zone from the drop-down. Choose the plugin, Veeam in our case. Enter the primary host. It can be IP address or host name, it doesn't matter. We need to provide the credentials to Veeam, username and the password. After that, press create. Now we need to set advanced option for the plugin. Remember, we were creating the template, job, and backup repository inside the Veeam backup and replication panel. Now we need to add these values here. So go into the backup resources Advanced options. There are two fields: vSphere template job name and backup repository name. We need to set both of them and press save. Now we need to configure the backup presets. So selecting the resource, going to Auto Backup Presets, we can add new or edit default one. Let's edit default and set it to daily. Time doesn't matter. Now it's time to assign the backup resource zone to the compute zone. So going to Settings, Compute Zones, choosing the proper compute zone, Tools, Manage Backup Resource Zone, and select our zone from the drop-down and add. Last thing we need to do here is to add the backup resource zone to proper bucket. Going to the users, we will search for the user who is the owner of the virtual server we are planning to do backup. So selecting the user, going to buckets, going to the limits for the backup resource zone, and add our zone. Now everything is configured and ready to be used. In order to start using, we just need to add the backup resource to the virtual server. After that, the auto backups will start to run accordingly to the presets which we have set for the backup resources during the configuration. Let's jump to the demo to see how to do it inside the OnApp control panel. Let's add backup resource to the virtual server. So going to the list of virtual server, choose the proper virtual server, going to the backups, backup resources, and add our backup resource. The proper transaction will be started in order to pass all the details to Veeam, and right after it, auto backups will start to run in accordance with the configured presets. You can see the transaction is running. You should be able to see the recovery points after they be created and synced at Backups Recovery Points menu. Also in this menu, you can start the immediate backup. This is all I wanted to share with you during this presentation. Hope it was useful. If you have any questions, just drop us a message. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.